Oh, it's a lot broader.
Yeah, we're doing everything. Good morning, everybody. And we'll go live here too. All right. We are live. We're live, everyone. Good morning. It's Gianna Volpe here on the Gianna Volpe Report, here with Margaret and Bruce McDonough from Hampton Bays.
Good morning.
They've got talk treats to me. Before we get started, I just want to give a little bit of information. First of all, the East End Adventurer series, we're taking Gianna Volpe Report on the road. So we're going to be at the Riverhead Farmers Market this weekend, 10 to 2, every Saturday at 54 East Main Street in Riverhead. We will be there. Also, if you want to be featured on this East End Adventurer series, local businesses, email us, giannavolpereport@gmail.com. We're booking out those spots now. Our sponsors, Village Overhead Doors. We just saw Steve log on here. The Duncan Inn in Jamesport. The Riverhead Farmers Market, 10 to 2 every Saturday. Right next door, the Green Earth Apothecary. Grace and Grit, which it's burger night tonight at Taps Corks. They've got a burger po' boy, so go check it out. Tom Fazio likes local wine, like Pominock and Palmer. We'll be checking out Prohibition Kitchen's soft opening this Friday night out in Port Jefferson. Also, our newest sponsor, North Meets South Food Farms Food and Drink Festival in Calverton this June 8th and 9th. Shout out to Vanessa and Monique. 2 nights. There is also a Kate's Angel event in Mattatuck. It's a free family night. Mark Miro and Kate's Angel are coming together to do an anti-bullying and suicide prevention and dreaming big thing tonight at 7. So check that out at Mattatuck High School. So hey guys.
Hi, how are you?
So very well. I see. Let's show off your treats here.
Sure.
They brought a basket. Thank you to Peggy for helping them out this morning. Thanks, Dad.
Sorry.
No problem.
We have lots of stuff.
So what do we got here?
We have, we started this because we lost our yellow lab due to chicken from China products in 2011. So that's how we started. We baked for a year, which was a pain in the neck because everything molds when it doesn't have preservatives on it, which none of our products do.
So you lost your dog because of the
chicken from China products.
Interesting.
So we started this, and we started with the after the bacon, we said that wasn't working, so we started with the bottom round beef and chicken breast and beef liver. It is all human grade food. All of our fruits and veggies, we have yams and pineapples are delicious. I'll leave you some of these. You can eat them yourself. It's just dehydrated. Pumpkin's great with the seeds and the guts and everything. Then we have all the meats plus the pumpkin ground up for food enhancers.
Yeah, so they call it caviar.
We call it caviar, yes.
So you sprinkle this in the food?
We sprinkle it on the food. Those are for the dogs or even cats. Cats love the chicken and the liver too, so we don't want to leave out the cats. Well, we have a little sprinkle of Parmesan cheese sprinkler in here somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we give these away just to make convenience.
Okay.
And so we tell everybody, pull a little sticker off because you know the guy of the house is going to think it's Parmesan cheese.
Right.
And it's all safe though.
Yeah.
So that's the good part. And we started with the pig's ears, which we do in 3 different sizes: full size, mini size, and then we have a in-between size. We cut these up in 3 pieces before 20 hours of dehydrating. Again, no sprays, no preservatives.
So you guys do this yourselves?
Yes, we do everything ourselves. So,
all right, and so this is wet food.
This is a dry food.
Okay.
It comes in little dry pieces. We cut everything up. We'll open one up for you. So you can see they're good on the shelf for about a year or so. We have a date on the back. This is what they look like. You can eat this. I have a lot of people take the beef, and what they do is they have it like a beef jerky without any of the preservatives on it.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like. It's thin, so you could break it up into small pieces. These start out. Chicken. Yeah, it's just chicken.
Wait, so I should eat
and
this?
It's Mount Air chicken, actually, which is what you get at the supermarket.
If you buy chicken at King Cullen, the house brand is Mount Air.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these little bags are over £1 each.
So this is
and
like treats.
Yep.
Yes,
Everything's a
this is a
treat.
treat.
Nothing's a meal.
Okay.
But I have a lot of dogs that don't eat, so they buy the food enhancer and they crumble this up.
Is this doggy ice cream?
It is 3 ingredients. That's it. Well, actually, I have the other one has 4. One has a chicken and one's plain. It's 2 probiotics and 1 thickener in both of them.
Wow.
And then the chicken powder we have mixed into the flavors.
So you've been doing this 6 years now.
We're doing 6 years. We're probably in about 75 to 80 stores. I haven't counted.
Wow.
So we've done all our own work ourselves. We're from Montauk to New York City, a couple of random stores in Florida, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So we're getting there. People are finding us, like coming off the boat during the summer to Montauk, and they're like, gotta have it, gotta have it. So it's like we're getting there. So we have some investors that are looking.
How does distribution work?
We do everything ourselves. We are a one-man company.
So that is awesome.
This is actually a friend of ours, her candles. And when you have a stinky beagle like we do, all of a sudden, here she is. This is Lily. Hi, baby girl.
Hi, Lily. In her doggles.
In her doggles. And it just, yeah, they've got great scents.
They're actually made here in Riverhead.
Really?
Yes, those are.
Where in Riverhead?
Well, she moved to Chicago, but she does still sell them. Treasure Scents, I will give her a plug as well.
Okay.
She's a great friend, Tanya. So we can, she's got many other scents. These are the 3 I like. Do you like pineapple?
I do. I love pineapple.
In order to cover the smell of a dog in the winter, you really need to use a citrus-based candle.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So we have a mandarin orange, we have a lemon verbena, and the ginger lime.
It smells really. I smelled the ginger lime. Lemon
verbena.
Yes.
And the other one is just regular?
Mandarin orange.
Mandarin orange.
That's my favorite, though.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can eat everything like So we do apple during the summer. We do the pineapple mostly and the watermelon. Watermelon's outrageous. It's not very good this time of year. So we wait and we try and use as much local as we can. Excellent. So if I can get a whole bunch of yams rather than going to Restaurant Depot and help out all our other friends here, such as Treasured Scents.
So important.
And Calypso yogurt.
Oh,
so,
okay.
They'll probably kill me. But anyway, it's all about helping each other out.
That's right.
We're a little family over there. Come in Saturday, 10 to 2.
Yes, every Saturday,
there.
54 East Main Street. We'll be there. We'll come and stop by and talk to you guys again. So let's talk again. You can put that down for a second. Let's talk again about, first of all, this is such a movement.
It is.
Feeding your animals as well as you're feeding yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Or better.
And I know, and I have to say that it's been, I've noticed that, I don't know if it's any different than it used to be, but it seems like animals are dying younger than I remember.
And I never had a dog that had all these allergies and all these problems that I am hearing and seeing today. I just don't understand it, from the overbreeding to just feeding them garbage. And I guess it's getting passed down, all the diseases and everything. I think it has a lot to do with the, like I said, the breeding. You see dogs coming in from the South all the time, especially, that are, it's just such a sad state. They're in the mud. They're, Southampton Animal Rescue, we're close to them. So they do so much rescuing, and they get from the South all the time.
We're very lucky.
We're blessed.
There. Yeah.
We're blessed. I mean, I grew up in the restaurant business, and I retired as a chef and caterer. So that's why we ended up with Restaurant Depot and Crescent Meatpacking, another plug. We love you guys. And we just slice and dehydrate. It's not rocket science, but it's healthy. It's all the best food that you can get, isn't it? What's great? You put that in your water.
Oh,
yes.
All right. Somebody's going to make that a business.
Yes. We'll just get into it. Just open a sideline for
there's
people.
There's so many possibilities. I just don't have, 58 hours a day.
Put it in your water.
Yeah, well, you can try your coffee. Yes. But we do the apple, bananas. If somebody wants something special, we'll do whatever people need. Okay. I mean, we even help the farmers out when they want to do their own venison. Make your own marinade. Give me the stuff, and we'll put it on the machine. Yes. That's Bruce's forte.
Yes.
So, you like the venison?
I don't particularly like it, but I have a lot of friends like Will Lee up in Sangley, because they have nuisance permits. To shoot a deer and just let it rot would be a sin.
Right.
So what they do is they use it, and they can't sell it, but he hunts them he puts them in the freezer, and then a friend of mine, Stuart from Mecox Bay Dairy, the cheese people at the market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Stuart is a chef. He owns restaurants in San Francisco and Chicago. He makes a marinade, and then he gives it to me, and I dehydrate it on my machine. It takes me longer to clean the machine than it does to actually marinate it, to dehydrate it. But then I make Will his jerky that he and his brother and his father and the rest of his family. So they're using it. Because, I mean, you can only cook venison so many ways.
Right.
Because it's so, I mean, around here they're
Big.
small. There's a lot of
finicky
different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about the animals, the dogs and pets dying earlier. I think a lot of that has to do with, I don't want to say it's a canary in a coal mine, but the environmental impact of what we're living in now. If you go back and you do
And that goes for people too.
necropsy on a dog that died in 1950 and a dog that died in 2000, you will find, just like people, they have, the dog in 1950 might have had 12 different things in his body, whereas the one now living in this environment has 250 or 300 or 500, just like we do.
Yeah, I was talking to Joe Alligue about, you know, his father was one of the madmen, you know, and it's like drinking, you know, smoking cigars, drinking scotch, blah, blah, blah. He's like, those guys lived forever.
Yeah,
they did.
Even so. And he's like, then it's all my generation.
Yes.
Where everyone's dying young because of like the processed foods and whatnot.
Right. TV dinners in our age.
Right.
And we were like, oh, how to have tea. Now I grew up with T-bone steaks this thick. They were all black Angus. And, you know, we had the best of the best. That's what the dogs ate, what we ate. And then all of a sudden, the first thing I remember is Gaines burgers. You're too young to remember that.
No, I don't know that.
But they were a little processed burger, like this round, this thick. You crunched it up and put it in the bowl, made it convenient for mom in the 60s. And it's like, as a little kid, if you're big into a dog, you always try a little bite of that milk bone or something. And I tried. It was pure salt. I don't know how my dog Gigi lived that long. It was horrible stuff. But from there on in, it was to make everything convenient for everybody.
Right.
Instead of cooking the old-fashioned way. I mean, my mom was the best heater up in the world because we had the restaurant business.
Then it's like, then you think about like the 90s and all of like the sugar and the soda and the junk food.
Right. And then all of a sudden, all the processed crap came out. And
now everyone's allergic to peanuts. And
right.
Like,
Where did that come from? We didn't have anybody in the class. If you did, you weathered through the storm. That was it.
It's crazy.
So we went the complete opposite.
This is amazing, and that's what I like is that the movement is just let me know how much time we have. The movement for people and pets,
right,
is a return to where we were.
Right. So that's why Sangli is doing so well in their adventure. I mean, you know,
Brown Birds and Matatuck, Chris and Holly.
Chris and Holly.
They do a great job.
Yes, they do.
It's better food. It's, I mean, you have to eat better. You have to behave better. And I mean, if you're going to do it and you want to live a long time, you have to do it. I mean, like her daughter is big into whole foods and eating a proper diet and not eating junk.
I love that.
So it's just different.
So we're about to go on the air here. So I will ask you to put your headphones on, young lady.
I like the young, thank you.
You. We're all young here. Hopefully I haven't been off the... Okay. Also butter, mayo, and chocolate. Know your farmer, know your maker. It's a huge movement.
Who's butter, mayo, and chocolate?
I don't know. I guess she's talking about
the farmer's market? No.
I think she's talking about like the movement of food.
Oh.
Speaking of North Meets South Fest, I'm curious if our guests this morning, Margaret and Bruce McDonough from Talk Treats to Me, are you guys going to be there at this festival? Do you know about it?
No, I don't even know about it.
So it's going to be this great. It's for the farmers, for the purveyors, out here. It's going to be a great festival, a giant farmers market out in Calverton, the
Fabulous.
first weekend of June. So Vanessa and Monique are basically trying to spur everybody to get their applications in. But I hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, I hope
So you guys are from Hampton Bays. We were talking a little bit off the air about the movement in food for people and pets.
Correct.
It started, in the 50s, life was simpler. And things got a little complicated as far as preservatives, additives, what people are putting in food, what corn syrup and all that stuff, which now there's been sort of a return. But I think like high fructose corn syrup most recently, I think they started to rename it.
Probably.
Yes.
They're
To
always
hide
giving it. They're always
Yes.
giving it a new name. If you can't understand what the word is and what it's about, you don't want it in your food.
So look at the ingredients, and that comes to what you put it on your body. That comes to your soap, your shampoo, to what you're feeding your animals, which is what we're talking about this morning. Now, Margaret and Bruce had a dog that they lost and are saying that it was because of products from overseas that you don't know what's in it and whatnot. What was that like for you, and how did it go from this happening, this tragedy, to you doing something about it?
Well, in about 2010, we adopted a yellow lab, Saoirse. And so Saoirse came to us, and we also had a beagle at the time. We still have her. But with that, I found a couple of products. I don't think I can say the names on the air.
But how did you know? How did you know that it was because
I thought
of
it was the
products?
food. I was trying to get the two dogs on the same food,
Mhm.
and it was not the food. It was the treats I was giving them, and they loved them. So it was chicken products, basically, and they were throwing up and diarrhea every evening, couldn't figure it out. I'm thinking it's the food. So we kept on changing the food to different companies, different kinds. And I always had my dogs on good food, but it just wasn't making sense where they were fine and then they weren't. And somehow, after losing Saoirse, it's like, it's the whole, let's say the only carpeted room in the house was a mess because of the two of them.
Mhm.
So when we lost Saoirse, Bruce had suggested, there was in the back of a Rachel Ray magazine, why don't you try making these cookies? So I did. And next thing I know, after a while, I'm noticing the one we had left, Lily, was not throwing up. She wasn't having the diarrhea. And you just kind of figured it out. There's my Lulu. So with their doggles.
So you decided to take matters into your own hands.
Right.
And then how did you decide to go from that to a business?
It just kind of fell into stuff. We were retiring. How much can you do? What can you do? So we started this. We started selling the cookies. And then I'm like, oh, that's a pain in the neck because I don't want the preservatives in them. And they molded too quickly, just like a loaf of bread. So with that, we started dehydrating. I don't even know where the whole process came from, but we went from bottom round beef to chicken breast to beef liver, and it's all people food from Crescent Meat Packing. It's the largest meat packer on Long Island, and I'm a retired chef, so I always went to Restaurant Depot.
And where are you sourcing the meat itself?
The meat is we can get it from upstate New York. It's
Okay.
where they source it from.
Okay.
So, our pig's ears are from Lighty Pig Farm in Pennsylvania, one of the largest pig farms. So we do
Okay.
get directly from them.
Very cool.
And it's wherever they really get their products. If I can get something local,
I think that's the direction. I was at the State of the Town, Southold town last night, and Scott Russell was talking about processing as one of the big goals for this year, and that's been a long time coming.
Mhm.
Getting local processing, and it is coming. I do know that. So the local processing of meat, it's sort of like the next step for us, at
Yeah.
least on the North Fork. Meat
on the South
processing is
Fork.
going to be big, and especially we touched on venison when we were off the air with Bruce. It's a big problem out here, the deer population.
Right.
And, figuring out how to cull the herd. If you talk to Scott Russell, culling is really the only thing that really works.
Right.
So I'm actually really excited to see what's going to happen this year as far as that's concerned. So I have a feeling that you're not going to need to source.
That's what we're hoping. The thing is,
Pennsylvania for
around
much longer.
here, how large are the cattle? I mean, how many cattle do they really have on a farm around here?
Yeah.
It's like we even use Dee, who has the buffalo farm. We get her liver.
Oh,
when she
yes.
gets- So we get the liver. So we buy the liver from her, and it's in a process of getting there. It's,
The longhorns or the buffalo themselves?
bison.
Okay, the bison.
Yeah.
Nice.
so we get that. So we try and keep
Very
it local.
cool.
We don't have boxes for them, but people know that they're all certified and everything else. Dee has been great with us.
Debbie, can you show these pineapple?
Here.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. So if you guys want to share
with your dog.
with your dog, this is the coolest thing. I've been having these dehydrated pineapple slices. Put it in your water. These are amazing.
Aren't they?
Yeah. So now you guys dehydrate. Do you dehydrate in Hampton Bays?
No, we're
No, we're
dehydrating.
dehydrating
We have
with-
another house in Lindenhurst.
Okay.
And we do everything on a home base right now. Unfortunately, it is not a thing that you have to have certified one way or the other, which I would
Well,
love
that's
to-
lucky.
Yeah, that's lucky, but I would like
I
to get
prefer
that.
it.
I prefer it.
Okay.
I mean, we're a small company. We're building slowly. It would be a nice thing. I mean, it would outlaw a lot of products out
Mhm.
there. I knew a lot of products that are great marketing companies. Their food is garbage. And it's like, I know pets are getting sick, just like the products that are in the ice creams that are in the supermarkets.
What, the doggy ice creams?
Yes.
Really?
My dog
Yes.
gets sick on them. Many
Yes.
dogs do. It's like if you come by the market on Saturday, I'll show you all the ingredients in there as opposed to what we have.
Doggy ice cream is so cool. So okay.
It's shelf stable. It's good for a year on the
Okay.
shelf. And whenever you're ready, you toss it into the freezer. I tell people with the little tiny dogs, stir it up, use an ice tray, make a $2 product into 4 treats for your dogs.
That is
And
so
they're-
cool. Chicken ice cream. And it's probiotic. I mean, that's got to
Yes.
be good for them too.
Oh,
Only
yeah.
3
Yeah, I mean-
ingredients to start, which is 2 probiotics and 1 thickener.
That's so cool. I love that. I love that because you see this a lot,
Yeah.
like doggy ice cream.
But if you look at the ingredients, it's scary. You
Right.
don't know what the words are, what they mean. So
not with talk treats to me.
that's right.
I love that. And so you guys got pig's ears.
Yep.
And we'll show off this basket one more time. You've got pig's ears. You got the big ones. You got ones for little guys. You've got
We have medium
candles.
ones.
Sorry, Miss Steph. Thank you.
That's okay. We have candles and 3-cent soy, all clean burning. If you make a little puddle on your soy candles, blow it out, let it firm up again, you'll get about 50, 60 hours worth of burning versus a regular candle with the paraffin. And I can't take the paraffin candles. So I feel like I'm eating it. So this was like right up my alley. And then pumpkin.
And then I like these. These are, she calls it caviar. They're food enhancers, just to sprinkle. I don't know. Some dogs get kind of spoiled and they won't just eat the dry food.
Right.
So if you have a dog like that, you can just sprinkle. You put it in a little Parmesan thing and just sprinkle it. And so this is this the chicken?
Yes.
That's the chicken. Here's the pumpkin. The pumpkin is good for the scooters. By that I mean I'm trying to put it
Like
nicely.
scooting the
for-
butt?
Yes,
Yeah.
for an anal gland problem.
Oh.
They're not expressed enough, and we have to take our dog. We have one that goes to the vet about every 5 weeks. We did. This is not a cure-all, but this is helpful.
It will help.
So instead of going every 5 weeks, we take her about
8 to
every
10.
8 to 10 weeks, which is a
Wow.
big difference. I mean, it's
Interesting.
$35 to $60 a pop to go to the vet. these
Yeah.
days, whether you have the vet or the intern there.
Yeah.
So we came up with this, and this is the pumpkin. After we slice it, dehydrate it, that's the guts, the seeds, the pumpkin, and also the skin. That's this, just ground up.
Wow.
So Halloween, we're grabbing
It
all
helps
the
with
pumpkins.
scooting. If your dog is scooting its butt.
So your carpets stay cleaner.
Yes. That must have been such a rough time. I mean, and we could do this. I'm so sorry, first of all, to hear about Sherpa.
Saoirse.
Saoirse.
It's a Gaelic name for freedom. She came
I
with that
love
name.
that.
Yeah, my cousin, unfortunately, she lost hers also in New Jersey.
Saoirse, yeah.
Also named Saoirse, but she was of the older age. But it was funny how 2
I
families
love
have the
that.
Irish names, and I got mine with the dog. So,
That means freedom.
freedom, yeah.
I love that. So let's give a plug to the farmers market.
Absolutely. We have so many people there, and we try and help each other. From Peggy, who said, go here, go there. She's got great stuff. Nuna Knits, that's right. Then we have Calypso Yogurt, which is a huge help on our doggy ice treat. We also have the yams, and wherever we can get, a good batch of them at the right price. We try and, as I said, do local. So we all try and help each other. It's like, if you're using a lot of oils, who's unfortunately not there, I wish they were, but their products are great on the fruits and vegetables from St. Lee, cooking with the balsamic vinegar and their fabulous fruits and veggies.
A lot of oils.
So then who else is there?
Mecox.
Mecox Farm. We will get
Goodale
the
is
right.
We've
got
there.
Goodale
is there.
So we all try and use each other and off of each other's, hold each other's
There's
back.
the Chaga lady.
So go see Chaga Island, Debbie Falborn and Bridget Leroy. We've got to wrap up here on the air. Guys, go visit Talk Treats to Me, and we will be back here on 1390 WRIV, your hometown station. So,
I forgot to say we'll give out free samples.
Oh, but how has this response been to you guys?
Well, aren't you still talking?
We are.
Okay.
Look!
Oh my God, what we have?
Look!
This is the response.
Okay.
You're gonna see.
Look at this baby. This looks like Cora.
Yeah, no, she's like a spitting image of it.
Oh my God.
Who's
You look.
Kira.
Oh, hi. Hey, Deb.
Kira doesn't even know.
So,
Kira doesn't care. Kira wants to be petted.
oh my
Don't
gosh.
you?
So will you help by holding this and the button is
What's
the.
this? This is how my dog
So-
goes crazy with this sound. They know.
What is that?
She's just
I don't
like
know.
What?
Let's see.
Hi.
Let's see.
How
4 years
good are
old.
you?
How
So
beautiful
tell
are
us.
you?
Kara,
What happened to her shoulder?
Kira's she doesn't know whether to go
I
for
think
the food
she's
or
a
say
little bit
hello.
of a
She
scar.
needs to love.
She came out
Kira.
to us as a stray, so
Kira.
we don't have any back
She's
history.
so excited.
But okay, so Kara, she is 3-4 years old. She's a female. She's a playgroup rock star, I like to call her. She's super dog friendly. She loves people. She's a nice, energetic dog.
This is good.
And very smart.
Girl.
She's beautiful.
She's so
Sit.
cute.
All of a sudden you're like, the dog gives you a look.
Did you see the puppy I posted like 2 weeks ago? That was red. That was her actually.
Is
Her
it
son, her puppy,
really?
yeah.
Her puppy?
Yeah, it was like this big. I put a picture up on my Facebook.
Oh, hi.
She's a mama.
Here we go.
She's a baby.
There you go.
You're a baby
Hi,
yourself.
baby, yes. Oh,
Look at
she's
the love
so
and shy.
cute.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
shy.
Oh, no, and hungry.
Hi, Kira.
It's all good stuff, Kira. Okay.
Oh,
She's like, I get the
so
love, I get the food.
cute.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
everything.
Here, babe.
Talk treats to me.
Oh, you can't
That's
have
what she
talking.
said.
Little. Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
How?
Hey,
She's
Mama.
got so much energy.
Lot of
So what's her story? Where's she from?
She came in as a stray, running around, just causing mayhem. She was just running in and out of traffic.
You are good on
She's
those
very lucky
commercials.
she didn't get hit by a car.
Yeah, she's
But she's super
very-
friendly. Like she just kept on going up to strangers, like, "Hi, can you be my dad?
Yeah.
Hi, can you be my dad?" And
Yeah.
we just right when we saw her, she ran
How
right
long?
up to
So
us.
wait, when did she come in?
She came in.
You got it.
She came in a couple months ago.
Okay. She's so excited. I could see her being like, "Can you be my?
Yeah. Can you be my dad? Can you be my
Can you
dad?
be my dad? Kira, come here." Okay.
Okay, there you
But if
go.
anybody has another dog at home, she would be a great addition to that. She's
good
absolutely
with other dogs.
She's phenomenal with other dogs.
Okay.
Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, no
Her whole
good.
demeanor is just perfect.
Cute.
She needs a bath.
She's very
All right, well,
That's okay. That's easy. That's easy.
a 5-minute fix.
She does look like Cora.
She's smelling.
She's
the
like,
pigs.
what is
She has that
that?
energy level too.
Here, you want the
Cora
rest
has
of my
a little
pineapple? Try this one.
Usually, if they've had the meat, they spit the fruits out. You give
Really?
the fruits first.
Oh, fruits first, guys.
Yeah.
Kira, here, let's see.
It's nothing like meat, but
Oh,
Kira likes it all.
She's like, what? What's
she's
this?
like, I'm not discriminatory.
No way.
Okay.
Here, let's try it with some yams. How do you
She's
know
like, I'll
bags?
do whatever.
How do you know bags so well, huh? Steal this. I can't get it. Oh my goodness. There's a buster from the side. I know. We have a scissor or something to poke.
Where is she?
Oh, behind
She's a
you.
rivethead.
Guys, if you want to adopt Kira for free, mention that you saw her on the Gianna Volpe Report, and you'll get your adoption fees waived. Call 631-765-1811, extension 2. She's in Riverhead. That's right on Church Lane in Aquabot. Sit down. Yum, 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 yum.
Go on.
I
That's
love
the
that
yams.
sound.
Yeah, these are great for scooping hummus too.
Oh, yes. She loves it. She's all about it.
She is all about it.
You can be very full.
Oh,
You
wow.
will be.
It's gonna
That's
have to
good.
get
She's
renamed the Kira snack.
Skinny.
Kira's next, the Cookie Monster.
The cookie
Oh,
one.
she's so cute.
She's beautiful.
I love pitties. I love their big
I know.
faces.
I love everything about them.
When did she have her puppies?
Probably 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
There you go.
And we just happened to grab one of them. Actually, yeah,
So
we did,
that
we did
was-
find out who the owner was eventually.
Oh, you did?
Obviously, the dog didn't go back to that person because they were breeding the dog. The stories
Yeah.
come to me as I'm talking to you
Right,
guys because
yeah.
there's so many of them.
Okay, so
Um,
when
she
she
was a
she was
stray.
pregnant as a stray?
No, no,
No.
no. She came in and we're like, "You just had puppies. Where are the puppies?" So we did some tracking down. We found out the owner was selling the puppies.
Okay. Her
So
puppies.
we got one of them back, and then we kept her and we fixed her, obviously, and she's not going to be used as a breeder dog anymore.
Yeah. So Kira's not a breeder dog anymore. She's retired.
Yeah.
She's retired and
Me
she's only
too.
4 years old. Oh, man. Who's got that story?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, you're so good. Well, she's got good energy. She probably was a good
I feel like she matches people's energy. If you're like cool, calm, and collect, she would
She'll
she'll mellow.
just-
But if you're like hyper, she'll be like, "Yeah, I'm right there with you."
Oh, did you miss? She's very affectionate. She's very affectionate. She's
Pennies are.
I know.
Pennies are. They are very
I
affectionate.
know.
They look for the love. It's, your pups just like you children.
Mhm.
They come out, how you treat them and,
Yep, exactly.
and everything else. It's like,
If they're mistreated, they're not going to be happy about
Right.
it. Just like with kids, they come
Sure.
in a crappy situation. You
Absolutely.
Know? Same with dogs.
Well, all we can do is go forward and try and fix. Oh, yeah, I know, love. I know.
Kira, you know how to get the treats, don't you? Dog treats to me. That's what she's saying. Oh, she's
So pretty.
cute. So call 631-765-1811, extension 2. Go by and visit her. Take her for a run.
Yeah, take her for a run.
You've got a lot of property there.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And we've been getting a lot more volunteers, more and more. The weather's
That's
getting
great.
nicer, and people are coming in,
Good.
putting them to work.
That's awesome.
And where are you located?
324 Church Lane, Aquabot.
Okay. Because we knew you for my husband knew
Hi,
you from the
guys.
market out in Greenport. You guys come in
Yes.
every once in a while.
Yes, yes.
So he's gotten to see a couple of dogs
Mhm.
there that have
We do that.
gone.
I
It's
love
nothing like
it.
showing them.
Love it.
Mhm.
Love
Really
that
is.
story.
I love showing them.
Oh, so
Yeah.
good. And
Find a
so
lot of good
did
ones.
everyone get taken from
There's 12, yep.
so Bella
From both visits.
for both of them?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I love to hear that.
So I'm harassed.
Junior too? Junior's good?
Yeah, Junior went home.
Okay,
Yep,
great.
To a great home.
Good.
Oh.
Sorry, say hi.
Kisses?
So this is Kira. She's only 4 years old. She's ready for her home. She's ready for her home. Yeah. Huh.
Oh, what's in there? I think we need some water.
She's got a maybe we should get her some.
Water.
Get you some.
Oh, you want to show that beautiful face? Look at me. Come adopt me. I'll
She's
love you
just a baby.
forever.
So she used to be a breeder dog, no
Yep.
longer. She's ready to retire. She's looking for a retirement home, but she's only 4. She's got a whole life ahead of her. So this is Kira.
Beautiful teeth.
Yes, I
Looks
know.
in
I
great
noticed that nice
shape.
mouth on her.
Wow.
She's got a great muzzle,
She does.
great personality. She's a sweetheart. She's in Riverhead. So give a call, 631-765-1811, extension 2.
You're modeling for you're posing for your model shot.
She's ready. She's ready. And she's got, and what a lucky girl that we had talked treats to me up here this morning. Oh, she knows you.
She loves
So who's
you.
You
taking
want
her?
someone who's excited to see you when you get home.
Who's taking her?
That's Kiara.
Look at this face.
She's so cute.
She's a lover.
All right. So we gotta go now
Okay.
and get our next guest in. But I am
Okey-dokey.
so grateful. I will see you
Thank
this
you.
Saturday.
I hope so. Come right in. Thank you so much.
You're
for
very
coming.
welcome. And here, let me get you treats.
Do you have dogs?
I do. I know.
Take them home. Give them out.
No, I have. Can I have the this one? This is the one I want.
Okay. And here's Lily. Bye, Lily.
Yes. Bye,
We're here for
Lily.
you. Thank you so
You
much.
are
for
so
having
welcome.
us
Here's your
on.
Parmesan.
Oops. Cheese shakers. Okay.
Sorry, I look.
See you
You're very welcome. I'll
Saturday.
see you guys on Saturday. Take care, Bruce. I don't look so great. It's fine. It's fine. Sometimes you have an off morning. What
I'll
are
see
you
you
gonna do?
later.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Max. Bye,
See you
Kiara.
next week.
All right, so come on in. I see Bug Light. Bug Light is coming to us.
I brought
That
an
is
easel.
gorgeous.
There's an easel, so
That's
I have to,
beautiful.
hold
Okay,
it.
cool. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, how are you?
Very well. And so I've got a chair for you too.
Thanks.
Sit here, and then we can do this like kind of diagonalized. Let's see. Or can we see it? You can't really see it. You can see it on the YouTube. This one is kind of challenging. I'll try to move this out of the way. There we go. All right. Hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
Thanks for having us.
So, how was the opening first off?
Oh, the opening was great.
Can we bring that in a little bit
Yeah.
more?
Here, you want to sit in the center. Yes.
Is that good? Or you?
Yeah.
Well, we might have you switch out just because he can get closer with that one when we
Okay.
go on the air.
Okay.
But we can do this
Okay.
for now. So, hey,
Hi.
how was the opening? So it was this weekend, right?
It was this past weekend. Friday we did a public opening, and then on Sunday we did kind of a more private
I was gonna
VIP, like for past and potential clients. So
So, where is this in relation to First and South, the gallery?
our gallery,
building.
there's a wall.
Okay.
We share a
Mhm.
wall.
Okay. So, where exactly is it?
So when you're looking at IGA
Yes.
on South Street, we're directly across the street from their entry.
Okay. Right. So it's like right connected
It's
there.
on the same porch. So
Right.
if you were to keep on going on the porch
Right.
where that
I
little
know.
office used to be,
Yeah.
that's us.
It
Okay.
used to.
Great.
Yeah.
It used to be the Hampton
Love
Jitney
that.
office,
Yeah.
and then it was Century 21. And so now we
This
took
is
over.
much better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're all very happy.
So was Sarah involved at all with you guys getting that space? How did it happen?
I don't know. I mean, Sarah's one of my best friends, and he's always expressed how much he's wanted to have that space. So when Hampton Jitney
You
was
guys were
leaving,
waiting.
I think that she,
I love it.
we probably had some sort of conversation, and
It was available for rent about a year ago, and I remember looking through the window with her and being like, "I want this.
Yeah.
This is
This
what,
is
what
where
I
I
want to be
belong."
my gallery." But it was not the right time, and so we held off, and somebody else took it, and then it came available again, and it was like, all right, we might as well
It is
just give it a
time.
shot and see what happens.
I mean, I remember somebody saying to me, I was talking about, going the next step in your career and whatnot, and said sometimes you need to make your parachute on the way down. Sometimes you just got to jump.
Yeah.
Was that the story for Jeremy Garretson Gallery, which, by the way, we didn't mention? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a market for it. There's little photography galleries like all in New England along the coast that kind of market themselves to tourists, and there isn't really that on Long Island, which surprises me, and definitely not on the North
Yeah,
Fork.
that's
So
strange.
I felt like there's a market, and
Well, you're right. You're
Everybody's
absolutely
heard
right.
the fake it till you make it. I mean, I'm just
And
kind of
that's something I really wanted to talk to, especially when we get on the air. Because I remember it was the North Fork Art Collective annual show or something,
Mhm.
and you were talking to somebody, and you were talking about imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
And any diehard creative knows exactly what this is.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows Jeremy Garretson's work, the caliber of work that he does, will be surprised to think that someone like you deals with this.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is it? What is imposter syndrome? And I mean, I love that you can talk about it because not everyone can.
I didn't really know what it was. Like, it was something I just felt. And then I was listening to a podcast.
And what is it? I mean, it's this feeling of,
I'll get into that, but basically I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about it, and the photographer said the word for the first time I ever heard it, imposter syndrome, and I was like, oh my god, that is the label for what I've been feeling.
Identify.
And so basically it's like, it's kind of a feeling of inadequacy, or that you're undeserving of any credit, accolades, or any of that.
I'm not a real photographer.
Yeah, I'm not good enough.
I'm not like this.
It's a fear of feeling like you're going to be exposed as a fraud. And I mean, I still deal with it every day, and she can attest for this. It's a lot of, it's a source of stress, depression.
I want to make sure that we can see you.
So, I mean, I witness it, and I see him,
Struggling.
constantly. I mean, he creates this amazing photo, and he puts it out there, and he's really, really happy with it. And then I see in his head, he's just raised the bar for the next one. And in every time, he's constantly raising that bar to the point where he feels like he can never reach it again. So it's just a constant cycle.
It's stress and pressure, and it is something all creatives deal with.
Yeah.
And I think once you know that it's normal and that that's something that everybody's feeling, whether they're talking about it or not, it kind of helps you accept it. And
yeah, I mean,
you can use it to your advantage, and kind of, if you're aware of it, you can deal with it.
Because before that, I mean, before you really could put a name to it or knew what it was,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that type of thing can be crippling
Exactly.
to the point that you're not, you don't create at all.
Or I wouldn't have opened the gallery if I felt that I wasn't good enough or worthy enough. What's going on?
All right, so just come uncomfortably close. Just like scooch as close as you can. And talk close to the mic. Or Neil, right? Okay. I am so excited to have Jeremy Garretson and Ashley O'Neill on with us this morning. Jeremy Garretson and Ashley, they came together to open a gallery in Greenport, right next to First and South there, and just had their opening this weekend. We were talking a little bit off the air about imposter syndrome, basically roadblocks that creatives deal with in coming into their own as artists. And I wanted to talk about other things, other struggles in your life that have actually helped you as an artist. Let's talk about your impetus, your development as a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So where did it all start for you?
I went to Stony Brook University for digital arts, and that was film mainly.
When was that?
That was 2006, 7,
Okay.
8. And film was interesting. It piqued my interest a little bit, but I met a friend who did urban exploring, and that was like going into abandoned buildings, hospitals,
Nice.
jails,
Awesome.
Pilgrim State.
We love
and,
that.
What's the other one? Kings Park.
Yes,
and all
I
that
always wanted to
stuff.
go
And
there.
seeing the decay was really interesting.
Is Kings Park still there? Or
It is. Pilgrim State, they demolished the good building that everybody would go into. And they're demolishing a lot of them. There's one on Staten Island that 2 kids, I believe, died. They fell in the
Ooh.
elevator shaft.
Yikes.
So they are a risk.
Yeah,
You know,
be
I fell
careful.
through a floor.
Did you really?
Yeah, and so I'm doing safer things today.
Good, yeah. You graduated.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Time went on. My camera bag got stolen, and I didn't pick up a camera again for 5-6 years. And during those 5 or 6 years, I moved to Rhode Island. I kind of slipped into depression and then eventually addiction. And
Which
I
is
was just
a huge thing, especially out here on Long Island.
Absolutely.
The opioid crisis it's, I don't want to say it's better now. I mean, it's moving in a good direction.
There's awareness, and the stigma's
right.
better.
The stigma is being removed. But still such a problem and such a hard thing to get through. But I understand that photography was actually something that kind of brought you back.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, when I was at rock bottom, I met this woman right here, and I told her to run for the hills. I said, I'm
and
not
she
worth
didn't
it.
Go.
And she said, no, it's all right. We'll get through this. And long story short, I ended up relapsing and I got arrested. And that was the official rock bottom. And when I was getting clean and I was part of drug court, that was my punishment.
What was that like for you? I mean, I hear such great things, and I think it's such a positive program. But I've never
don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs. It's not like you want to go to drug court, but I'm sure that it's nicer than
it is. I couldn't handle any. I wouldn't make it in
formal,
jail.
Yeah.
But so drug court, you know, they are concerned with you. The ultimate goal is for you to get better, and that's a lot of our legal system. That isn't really the ultimate goal. So it's kind of a unique program, but I did the one right here across the street in Riverhead. Every Thursday, standing in front of a judge, you know, they're involved with your life. It's kind of like probation, but a little more intense. It's during that, it's 1 year long if you graduate and you don't screw up. I got out in just under a year, which is like unheard of. So
that's pretty awesome.
But yeah, it's intense. It's not easy. It's not like I don't want to ever do it again. It ran my life.
Well, how'd you get a camera back in your hand?
I needed something to do. I had showed her some old photos of my like urban exploring, and she's like, "You need to be shooting again."
Awesome.
And
Girl's got vision. And I mean, if you've ever seen a wedding that Ashley O'Neil has been involved in, it's like they're a match. They're a perfect match because your events are just. You're still doing events?
I am. I'm still doing primarily weddings.
And how can people, if somebody wants to have a badass wedding and have you be involved, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, my website is Ashley O'Neil Events.
Okay.
And they can always, contact me through my website, through email or phone.
Would he do wedding photography? Could you guys? Oh,
it's not my favorite thing, but I do a few a year.
That's awesome.
It's keeps me on my toes. And
yeah,
it's different. But yeah. So, anyways, she bought me a camera. And I every day
wasn't the best camera.
No, it was a used Canon 5D2.
That's all I needed though to start.
Yeah, he needed to focus on something that was going to be positive and something that he enjoyed. And it was great to see him transfer the need for a high from the drug to the need of finding the shot and going out into nature and coming back and creating something beautiful and then getting that,
I think that's so great. Something that I was thinking about on the drive into the studio, as addiction or addictive personality as a superpower, taking it, transferring it from something that is because the obsessive need to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's amazing what addicts will do to get drugs. So if you just transfer it to something positive, it's the person can almost not be matched in what they're producing. So when you look at Jeremy Garretson's photography, it's that next level. you know, it's that next level. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about your eye, your vision, and what it is when it comes to approaching shots. What are you looking for?
I mean, it depends where I am. I mean, locally, you know, we kind of limited amount of space here. There's not a lot of land, and a lot of it's private, and so you're kind of limited to the beach or roadside. A lot of the time, you know, you can't go into the woods a lot because of ticks, unfortunately, and you know, there's fences along a lot of the farms, and so I'm looking for locally when I'm looking for a shot, I'm looking for weather. Like I really like moody storms.
And we've got good, I mean, when it comes to light,
there's great light here.
Atmosphere.
Different times of the year, different types of light. But yeah, the relationship with the light and the land and shadows and highlights, and you know, it depends on the shot. There isn't like one recipe that I go out with and to get a shot. You know, some shot might be of ferns and it's more detail oriented, and it's like a semi-mundane subject. Ferns, you know, they're just, it's like taking a picture of grass, but I'll compose it in a way and edit it in a way that makes it look artistic. And but then I'll also go out and shoot the grand landscape with like a vista, you know, so something could be really close, intimate landscape, and something could be a grand vista with, you know, waves crashing on one side and the beach on the other side. And so it's,
I'm curious about your digital darkroom process, because what my guess is that your photographs, that you work on your photographs. How long is it taking you on average per image?
That depends. It's you know, the shot behind us is of it's of Bug Light. If you're listening, you can't see it. Bug Lighthouse with the Milky Way rising above it. And you know, that this shot was something that I had researched before. I knew where the Milky Way was going to line up. There's an app called Photo Pills that you can kind of figure out where
so
the
that's
sun
awesome.
rises.
So this is you saw this shot before you even got on the boat.
Oh yeah. And I used to have a boat, so I would have just gone out there myself, but my parents sold it, and so I'm now boatless, and I needed to coax a friend into getting me out to the tip of
there's
Long
no
Beach.
shortage of those around. Friends with boats.
But it's 11:30 at night, and I needed him to take me from 11:30 to about 2 in the morning. And
okay, so
not a lot of friends would like
that's true.
Stand around for 2.5 hours.
Thank you to Jeremy's friend for
Ricky
doing
Fiedler.
this.
Thank you.
Yes, Ricky, thank you.
But yeah, so this was, you know, something that had a lot of time go into it, and then in editing, you know, the shot probably 2 to 3 hours of editing. But some shots I may spend 4 hours on and then hate it and then start all over. And, you know, I'm trying to have more of a, what I call incubation phase with my work, where I don't go out and take a photo, edit it, and then just release it to the world. I kind of sit on it and marinate a little more. That way I can look back at it and be like, okay, I slept on it and the sky is way too orange or something. And I can dial it back. Because a lot of times you get like tunnel vision. You don't see the picture.
I've
like
noticed that. And I mean, I think I've kind of fallen into that trap. The oversaturation.
It's easy to oversaturate.
It's easy to oversaturate, and especially because people who are not photographers like it. You know? So it's hard. It's hard to kind of pull back when you know you're like, this is ridiculously oversaturated. But then you see an image like on Facebook that's ridiculously oversaturated, and everyone's like, I love it. I love this.
Now, one of the things that, like, when I started is you have all your friends tell you you're amazing and that you should do this full time. At the end of the day, not a friend has bought like a print from me. You know, they'll sit there and tell you you're amazing,
right?
And you should do this full time. But then when it comes down to it, it's like there was this realization, like, all right, yeah, my friends aren't going to pay my bills.
It's not the same market.
Yeah, no, you got to market to
they're not
totally different people. And so that's what I've learned recently.
I mean, who's buying your work?
I can't afford my own work,
right?
But second homeowners.
How much would something like this run?
So this one is a little would cost a little more just because of the effort that went into it.
And not to mention, you do it on that. What is this called?
So
this kind of paper?
I
Or
print,
not paper.
I
sorry.
print in 2 different formats. One's on paper mounted to acrylic, and this is on metal.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, what was that?
This has been such a big trend in like the last
The metal prints?
2 years.
They're-
Yeah, I
you
love
get-
the look.
You get
it's
great
cool.
color. You know, it longevity wise, they last a really long time. But I was saying something before, and I'm lost my track of
Okay,
editing.
sorry. It's my fault.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You asked about post production, how long I edit, and I mean, it varies from photo to photo, but I love editing, and that's where I get to make it the photo
You can
into
tell.
art.
Yes, and that's what you really can tell. When I was looking at your work at the North Fork Art Collective show, which, by the way, tonight is the hangout. I'm sure. I think at the Southampton Arts Center.
Oh, yeah,
They're doing that.
Yeah.
I think it's been every Thursday. I gotta
Mhm.
get out there one of these days, and maybe tonight. What I was asking was about price. I
Oh,
know
price,
that,
right.
So, how much would something like this run?
I think this is about $1,000. I don't have the price with me, but
That's
it's not.
$1,200.
$1,200.
All right, so we gotta wrap. We gotta wrap up
My
on
wife
the air.
does my budgeting.
We're gonna talk a little bit more off the air. But we gotta wrap up, guys. Can we give a quick shout out? How can people get in touch with you? How can people buy your work?
You can follow me on Instagram at @Garretson_fine-art photography or photo. I don't remember. You'll find me. And JeremyGarretson.com. You can find me on
There you
Facebook.
go.
Yeah.
102 South Street.
102
Yes,
South
102
Street.
South Street. Go
next to
see
First
them
and South.
in Greenport. And we'll be back next week on 1390 WRV, your hometown station. What I was going to say is that I could tell, I got my degree in photojournalism.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And so when I was looking at your work, I was like, man, I could tell
Mhm.
your digital darkroom skills. And I was just wondering like what the process was, because you definitely know your way around.
Well, it's amazing because like college, like I said, I went to Stony Brook and took photography, but today college is not the way you get into photography. You can learn it yourself.
And because we were both in school at the same time.
Mhm.
And I remember the year that I got into the photojournalism program
Mhm.
was the same year that they were doing away with the darkroom
Yeah.
and switching over to digital. So this was really just the beginning.
Mhm.
By the time I graduated, they had done away with
The whole
special
department.
like it used to be when I chose, it was like, okay, do you want to go into magazine journalism? Do you want to go into print journalism? And I went into photo
Mhm.
because I was like, that's the most creative. It was the least competitive. It was something I could really learn a new
Doesn't
skill.
pay very well. But
No,
it's a cool
but
job.
I liked
Yeah.
the idea that I could do my own photos with my own
Mhm.
words because I was a writer first.
Mhm.
But I'd always loved photography since I was a munchkin. But by the time I graduated, they had done away with sequences altogether.
Oh, wow.
And now all the new incoming freshmen were all convergence. So that meant they teach you a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Because the way that it was moving is that you need to
Everything.
know how to use a video camera. You need to know how to you need to know how to do audio. You need to know how to do magazine. So that time, and then not to mention the fact that 2007, 2008, the bottom dropped out of the economy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything.
Nobody's gonna go to
The
college
people
for that.
the people that went to school when we went to school,
Mhm.
we got a little screwed.
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
They-
100%.
So it's not there's a bit of a disadvantage there. Not that you can't make it, and obviously you know that, but it was not easy.
No,
and
and I mean, college in general, the Brooks Institute, I think it is like where you would go if you wanted to be a photojournalist. That was like the school, or if you get into photography, that was the college to go to. It produced like great famous photographers, and they just closed last year because attendance is down.
right.
You know, nobody can justify paying $50,000 a year for a college when they can go on YouTube, and if you have the
And
will.
it's not. I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the worst thing for me when it comes to advising young people
Mhm.
that are getting. honestly, my advice would be at this point, because it used to be
Business.
go to school, just go into the workforce
Yeah.
for a year and, get a little capital and figure out who the hell you are. Because think about anybody
Well, liberal
Nobody
arts is a
nobody
waste.
knows-
I think.
Nobody knows what the hell they're going to do with the rest of their lives
No.
when they're in high school. Some people do, and good for them, but probably it's because their parent does it and it's like, you're going to be a lawyer.
I
you're gonna
hated.
be a-
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Right.
They would ask me. My parents would ask me that, and every time I'd be like, "I could be dead in 5 years. Who
You
knows?"
don't know.
Like,
You don't know. You need a little time to finish cooking,
mhm.
and figure out. And at this stage in the game, or this stage in the economy, you don't have as much wiggle room financially
Right.
to kind of go and figure it out.
Yeah, go to school maybe. For,
Why not figure it out? I remember one time I was tending bar at Tweeds.
Mhm.
I didn't want to work or whatever the hell it was. And my boss said something to me he was like, come in and work. And I was like, because I worked 6 nights, 3 doubles.
Mm.
And he was calling me in for another, he's like, I need you to cover. And I'm like all burnt out. And I'm like, I don't want to. He's like, what else are you going to do? Why not do nothing and make money?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, you're so right.
Mhm.
So why not take the time to figure out what direction you want your life to go in? I'm so grateful that your life has gone in the direction of, first of all, meeting this woman.
Mhm.
When did you guys get married, by the way?
A year ago in
Story.
November.
Happy
4th.
happy belated anniversary.
Thank you.
We were meant to get
Thank
married
you.
in Puerto Rico, which was an interesting story.
Well, you can.
The hurricane 5 weeks before happened, and
Oh.
my wedding planning wife rescheduled the wedding, and that was 5 weeks, and we were able to keep the date. Actually, move it up a week.
We moved it up a week. We replanned the whole thing and re-invited, doubled our guest count. Yeah, it was a little wild.
So did you end up doing it around here then?
We did it at the Halyard.
Oh, how cute!
Yeah.
Have you guys been there since Stefan?
Not since.
Not since
That's
Stefan. No,
one of
I work at Northport Table and so
Okay.
I know Stefan quite well.
Love
And,
it.
yeah.
Hey, Claudia and everybody over there.
For everybody in the transition.
I haven't, so I don't know anything about Northport Table's new chef, and I wanted to come in there.
He's great.
Okay.
Yeah, from DC area. He's
Okay.
fit right in. He's producing incredible food and
I've seen some pictures.
yeah.
Can't wait to come
try it.
visit.
Yeah.
Always love. I like to do like a chef's tasting like once a year there.
Indulge.
Yes.
Yes.
That's for me.
Mhm.
That's where it's at.
Yes.
Do a chef's tasting at Northport Table. Otherwise, you don't know what the hell you're doing. And go visit Jeremy Garretson Gallery.
Can I say one thing about
Yes,
the gallery?
go ahead.
I will be offering lessons in like photography,
Very cool.
as well as
Very
I want
smart.
to do like 15-person like seminars and like lectures. So it could be like fine art printmaking or astrophotography, and I'll promote
I'll
them on my
definitely take your
website. But
astrophotography class.
yeah, I mean I want to use the location as a teaching place as well. So I don't have anything scheduled yet, but I wanted to
Keep me
share that.
keep me informed.
I will.
I've been writing for and shooting for the Independent,
Mhm.
which is great. I just did a piece about the Claudio's redo,
Okay.
which was great. I wanted to
What are
actually
they doing?
see it. If you have you gone down there?
I've seen it. I don't know what they're actually doing to the
So
place,
they're basically fixing. All right, this is a little bad, but all right. If
I
you know
digress.
anything about the wharf
Mhm.
and the actual story there,
Mhm.
you know,
I think I know enough.
it was done in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yes. Yeah.
So it needed. It's one of those things that everyone talks about. It's like one of these days, it's just going to give out from under, and everyone's going to go.
Well, you
So-
feel it swaying on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and it's
So basically, the new ownership, which was a part of why it was so difficult to make the sale happen,
because of the okay.
because of there's a lot of reasons
Mhm.
of why people would back off. And so basically this new ownership is doing the right thing.
Mhm.
And
Fixing the
they already have the pilings approved.
Mhm.
Later in March, they're gonna approve the rest of the work there. So they're putting in 24 new pilings.
This is gonna
The
cost
whole-
a fortune.
It's $1 million project.
Oh, I mean, CDC, like, they hate when you mess with docks. You need,
What
like,
the DC?
the
or
DC, sorry.
Right,
Yeah,
it's
that's
okay.
right. Yeah, they like fly over in a plane once a year and compare photos to make sure people haven't touched their dock. And if you move a dock, you gotta permit up. And
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a total racket.
Yeah.
But and there's a bigger story, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's $1 million project. Right now the wharf it's like RIP Claudio's, because it's if you look at the picture, we're live right now, everything's gone.
Mhm.
So it's bare bones right now. They're gonna get I don't know. They've got a 2-year permit, but I'm guessing they're gonna get
I have to
the
have
top decking. They're gonna have to get the season in.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
to pay for all this.
right.
Yeah.
They
Which
make
is-
that on a Sunday, so
Well,
I mean,
it's different though, because I think the thing is that I think that originally they were supposed to wait. You know,
Okay.
the whole thing is you buy something like Claudio's,
You
wait and
wait
see how it operates for a year before you make any changes. And I think they did start implementing some changes this season, which that there was a little friction because of that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what it's like. I don't know. All I know is that it's pretty ripped up now. I had to going out there, and I mean, as a photographer, it's all about getting the shot and doing whatever you need to get the shot. So I'm skipping, missing planks and whatever to make sure I can get the whole dock with the building in the background instead of just some crappy.
I'll have to go take a look.
You got to check it out. It's cool.
I'm good friends with Jan and Bill, and I actually knew somebody who was one of the partners in the group that was going to buy it last time, but backed out. And I was talking to him, and he was like, yeah, we're not going to change anything, because why change anything when it's worked so well for so long? He's like, we're just going to, add bottle service and some couches onto the deck. And I'm like, you're not going to change anything. You're just going to add like a VIP bottle service area. Like, what?
I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to change it.
I was like, that's not going to fly.
Was that the ones that we're going to do a German beer garden?
I think that.
Krabby
Yeah,
J's?
I think that was.
I think that was
I'm
it,
not. I'm
yeah.
going to leave names out
It's
of it.
fine.
But,
We're done.
it was.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna go now before we get ourselves in trouble here. But go to Jeremy Garretson. Go to Greenport.
Yeah.
Dev, we'll see you on Saturday. We're gonna go to the market.
Yeah, East End Adventure coming
There
at
you
you.
go.
Next week. All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week. All right. Peace, love, and hair grease.
This is amazing.
Yeah, we
Thank
probably
you.
got ourselves in trouble.
Yellow. North Fork Now Instagram. So I just wanted to can I get a picture of it?
Yeah.
You can get it, and then I'll at you. So then.
Let me at you.
Is the reflection not too bad?
Yeah, not too bad. It's a little. I don't know if you.
The
want-
angle of
you wanna do
reflection
it again?
equals the angle of refraction. Take it on the on an angle, Dev. Yes.
Slight
Yeah,
angle.
let me see.
Tell me which way to move it, and I'll tilt it.
Let me see.
That one.
Yep. Better. You can still see you though.
And then is that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you want to put your on there?
At J.
Check it out. Sorry about that.
Oh my God! You climbed over that?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Well, here, no.
That's
here.
cold water.
I came
Jay.
around.
Oh, okay.
There was
Okay.
just like a board missing here and there.
A.
No, I
This
didn't.
one.
I didn't do that.
Like that is
Thank
really
you.
No. But
Oh my gosh, that's what it looks like right now.
yes.
Holy cow! 'Cause I was there like a couple of days ago, but the angle I was standing at, you didn't see
You
that.
have to. Yeah, you have to go. You got to go in.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Oh, we didn't end the stream.
They are starting from scratch.
I know.